How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dyson Sphere Program. Hope you guys have been enjoying this series so far. If you guys have, you guys know what to do. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Consider subscribing as it really does help out the channel. And with that, let's get into today's episode. So, two things. Number one being, you're probably wondering why there's no background or game audio. Part of the reason for that is when I was recording it, somebody, not naming names, might have forgotten to capture the game audio. Yeah, because the way I do it is I turn everything off except for the game audio. Well, it turns out I turned everything off, including the game audio. So unfortunately, you just have my lovely voice to listen to without any of the background music or any of the background sounds. So today's episode is probably going to be a little bit more brief than normal episodes, just because I don't know how long I can continuously talk without any breaks, on top of the fact that it will probably get quite boring slash quite eerie with no background sounds. So with that, let's get into more or less today's stuff. So then that second point being, we finished last episode with setting up more of the stone. It has proven to not be sufficient, so I will be expanding that in this episode. Now, honestly, most of what I worked on in this session was just trying to get placement down properly, because a lot of what I was doing was as you can see, just trying to fiddle with the machines to get them to line up properly, and it was the biggest pain in the ass that I think I've ever had to do in this game. It was annoying, but what I'm doing here is I'm setting up for the graphene, so that way we can have enough of production for this, so that way we can start production of just other things in general. Other than that, we also need to more or less organize some of this area more, because as you can see, these belts are just going every which way. There is little to no organization here. I will probably redo a lot of the oil mining facilities, but as of right now, it's just more difficult to try to play around them until we get off-world mining for oil, or I guess drilling for oil. I'm going to leave as many of them on world as I can before we get that interstellar oil mining going. Another big problem that I'm kind of running into right now is I didn't realize that there's just certain limitations to how much stuff that I have built and the space that I need relative to one another. So, like, for instance, when I was planning everything out, I meant to have the oil further away and then have the graphene in place already. Well, I didn't realize that, and so then that's why I have to build the graphene after the oil. And whereas, for instance, here on my refining planet, everything was built with everything else in mind, right? So scale was planned, the ratios were planned, the spacing was planned. All of this was more or less planned well before I got into the active stage of using it. And now a lot of it's being used, and quite honestly, I don't think I would bother trying to move anything. Whereas on our main planet, a lot of the stuff, yes, we're planning and we're going as we do it, but unfortunately, the way I have things laid out is I don't immediately see the things that I might need for something else, but they fit into that area. So again, the chemical area, everything that goes into a chemical plant more or less should be over there, with the exception of, honestly, there's nothing on the top of my head that is like an exception, but if there is an exception, then we'll go over that. But I have yet to have one to where I am making something in a chemical plant and it's not over here. The goal, however, is to really just make sure that we have most of the stuff laid out and most everything functional in theory. And by that I mean having all the belts connected, having all the sorters, and just all the storage and everything else just set up, so that way as we go through, we just can immediately turn it on and start connecting things start working, which again is the end goal. It's the end result, that as we go through, as we plug things in, the factory starts to come more and more alive, and that, you know, we'll be happy, especially once we get closer to finishing the Dyson Sphere, because it has been on pause for quite some time now. Initially, I was actually expecting us to get done much sooner, but honestly, as time has been going on, I've just been seeing and realizing, like, holy crap, I don't think we are getting to finishing the Dyson Sphere, finishing research as quickly as I thought we were gonna get. I think I've definitely gotten into a rabbit hole of building, which I enjoy. Like I really enjoy the sessions that I have when I'm playing this game. Um, Also, in case anybody was wondering why that didn't line up at the end, it was because I needed a different amount. So there should be 86 in total that I placed down. Yeah, as you can see, every time that I stop talking, it's very eerie. And most of the time, it's because I'm yawning as I go through. Because when I do these, I'm recording it. I say very late, but it's 1 a.m. at the time of recording the voiceover and doing all the editing. Part of the reason for that is just I get busy during the day. However, a couple of important things to note. As I mentioned in a couple of the previous episodes, if you're watching this at the time of release, I will be starting back school next Monday, which means the policy of a minimum of 3 episodes will be coming out for things like total. So not necessarily like 3 episodes of this or 3 episodes of something else, but just 3 episodes of everything in total coming out per week. Will start to kind of more or less hit that effect. Um, Obviously, it's not a maximum, but there's a good chance that there will be some weeks, especially like as I get close to like midterms and finals, there more than likely will only be 3 episodes of stuff. If there isn't, I will make sure that I let you guys know, hopefully more so in advance, especially if you guys are looking forward to a particular series, whether it's this or Minecraft or 7 days, whatever it is, just making sure that those things. However, if you are watching this and you are somebody who's been watching the 7 Days to Die series, an important update on that series is I have run out of backlogged in recordings. So there probably won't be a new 7 Days to Die video until Friday at the earliest. The reason for that is I just ran out of recordings, and Brandon, the person I'm playing with, he and I just haven't had time to sit down and play it in about a week and a half. So we're gonna shoot to play it this Thursday, hopefully for several hours. However, the video formatting is going to change a little bit in that series. So currently, the first 7 episodes were one per day, or one per in-game day. However, going forward, because now we're at the point where things are going to get a lot less interesting and get a lot more of us just farming and a lot less commentary. So that means I'm going to start condensing the videos down into probably a week of in-game time. I'm not sure how I'll do it just yet. I don't know if I'll do like 6 days and then Horde Nights will still be their separate videos. I'm not sure how I'll do it yet. I'll just have to see what ends up coming of it in terms of like entertainment value, I suppose. If I find that we are able to still have enough content from 6 days and Horde Night is obviously eventful in and of itself, or is it, we just have to smash everything together? I'm not sure yet. I'll have to wait until we record and see kind of what comes of that. Now, I also want to mention that as there's a couple games coming out. So like Starfield, for instance, that's coming out soon-ish. There's a handful of other games. I can't remember them right now off the top of my head. I'm having a brain fart. But once those games come out, I will probably be doing limited series of those games, probably just me playing through them. There will probably be mixed amounts of commentary, especially if it's a single player game. It will probably be me playing it and making comments here and there, but for the most part, it will probably be like some like side commentary stuff, but it's not going to be a full like scripted me talking while playing, and nor will it be full silence. So it's not just going to be like a no commentary run, although I suppose I could do that. I don't know if that's something you're interested in. If you're interested in me playing games with no commentary and just purely playing it for the, I guess, story value, so just showing off like my decisions and some interesting events that occur, and I don't know how I would do it. I haven't really thought too much of those things. I just know that there are some single player games coming out soon. I also want to replay through the Fallout games, only because currently we are playing. I say we, me and my friend group. We are currently playing through a Fallout 76 playthrough. It's become quite interesting. And then because two of them, well, one of them hasn't played Fallout ever. Another one hasn't played Fallout in a very, very long time, and another one hasn't played Fallout since Fallout 4. Um, so there's a nice mix of pretty much new, completely new to the universe of Fallout, and myself, I've played all the Fallouts. I haven't finished 3. I got 3 on console. I partially played through it, and I don't know why I didn't finish it. But again, older games, I say older games, but they are quite old. If you look at the release dates of when they came out as to today, it's like, wow, quite old. If you're interested in older games like that and are somewhat interested in watching me play it, definitely leave that down below because I would be more than happy to record it while I play it. Um, Again, just probably a limited playthrough. It wouldn't be something that I would make multiple runs of, like Minecraft or Factorio or Satisfactory or games of that nature, right? Those games are more replayable, where although sure, Fallouts do typically have different paths you can choose, most of the gameplay for the most part won't change, right? It's more or less just the endings, which do differ, but that's more of a surprise to let people discover, I feel like. Let's see what else is going on in the world of the series. So currently, what you're saying is I'm just gathering up resources for crafting. A lot, I don't know. I ran out of sorters. I ran out of storage. I ran out of a lot of things while I was working on the graphene. Is it the graphene or graphite? I can't remember what the item's called. The sheets of this stuff. Graphene. I'm going to go with graphite. That feels more correct because I think I was going to work on the title being graphite for your pencils or back to school. I don't know. I was going to come up with some corny joke with the graphite. Anyway, as I was going through, I ran out of power stations. I ran out of sorters. I ran out of storage. So there was a lot of crafting that needed to be done because I kind of broke my own unspoken rule of always be crafting, always use that inventory crafter, just that way you are maximizing your time, or I guess maximizing your usage. And here you just see me replacing the oil. Well, because I didn't end up actually needing to move it, so that ended up being good. And then, of course, I just went ahead and connected it up to what, for now, hopefully is the temporary oil pathway. I don't think we'll need to expand this anymore. I think for the most part we have all of the chemical plants that we need down to be down. Of course, as we go through, we'll have to just adjust things. I think if we end up needing more space, I'll probably have to either put it on the southern side of sulfuric acid production, but I think we're going to end up running into the same scenarios of we're just going to run into oil derricks, but I also think we're going to need more landfill. Also, I did try to use the blueprints to get all these sorters to work, but they just, for whatever reason, did not like the spacing, and they did not like where this area is, which is something I'm noticing with the game, is the blueprints are good. Like, I mean, really, really good for getting stuff set up, but they're not great if you have just really weird spots. So whether it's on kind of the equator edges or the line edges, or if you have the different transition zones like up here, in the weird spacing, like I tried to get it right and like it looks good on some spots, but then on others it just doesn't work. So there's definitely areas where the blueprinting works really well, and then other areas it's just you're screwed and you're gonna have to do a lot of this by hand, which sucks because it eats a lot of time, but oh well. Other than that, we also have to go ahead and connect combiners, or I guess stackers, so that way the belts have enough throughput, because as is, when we put 86 of these in line, the belts by themselves are not sufficient to handle this, so we have to put stackers. Now, is this the most efficient way of putting them in? Probably not. Do I know any other way? No, or not really. If there is a better way to do inline stackers, whether it's some weird splitter into a stacker, back out into a splitter, into a stacker, weird balancer thing, let me know. If there is a blueprint that somebody has, That would also be really great. And yes, I know it is probably a 2-second Google for it. However, I'm more than likely going to forget that by the time I do it until I go back and look at it and go, well, why isn't this working? Or what will end up happening is I'll get this build functioning, and then if it's not fast enough, then I'll go, how can I speed this up? And then I'll start thinking about it, and then I'll fix it, which is usually what I end up doing. Also, one of the annoying things that I found with this game is if a blueprint pretty much exactly matches, but then it yells at you like, nope, I can't place it here. I don't know why the game is so particular about what can and cannot be blueprinted on top of itself. I don't know if it's a limitation in the blueprints, like a bug, or just improper implementation, or if I just completely have no idea how to do it properly, but I don't know. It's just one of those little things. Well, I think we're going to call it here. I think we've had enough weird background silence for 16 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, you guys know to smash the like button. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, leave those down below. And I will remember to make sure that I turn the game audio on for the next video. So that way it's not just eerie silence as I commentate my actions with very little other sound other than my voice, which I'm sure it's fine. I'm honestly, at the end of the day, it's probably fine for what we're doing. Very short form, somewhat informational. Honestly, it's more or less me informing you about different random things, which honestly could be its own series. Just saying, if you have any ideas, we can make them happen. All right. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.